Big stories in NASCAR usually arrive with noise, penalties, feuds, crashes, press conferences. This one arrived in silence. A small support piece was bolted onto the front of every car starting at North Wilkesboro, and the racing world simply moved on without a word. Weeks passed. Then a podcast comment, a fan question, and a reporter's answer pulled the story into the light. And Brad Keselowski, driver and co-owner at RFK Racing, confirmed what many suspected. This was never a small story. It only looked like one. Here is exactly what he wrote on social media. This didn't really get any media play, but was a big deal emo. That is one short line. There is no drama in it, no long speech, no accusation. But it came from a man who drives the car at the highest level of the sport and also owns the team, and that makes it worth stopping and looking at closely. So let us go back and walk through the whole story step by step, because once you see all the pieces laid out together, you will understand why this quiet change might be the most important development of the entire 2026 season. 22 races are in the books in the 2026 season. Toyota has won 13 of them. 13, Chevrolet has 6 wins, and Ford has 3. Stop and read that again. Toyota has more wins than Chevrolet and Ford put together, and it is not even a close call. This has not just been a good year for the Japanese manufacturer. This has been a takeover. And the strangest part of all is that the next generation car was supposed to stop this exact situation from ever happening. That was the whole idea behind it. Same parts. Same suppliers. Same pieces bolted onto every single car in the field. The goal was to squeeze everybody together so that no single team or manufacturer could run away from the competition. Well, somebody is running away. The numbers behind the domination are even more striking when you look deeper. Through the first 16 points races of the season, Toyota had won 10 of them, which works out to 62.5% of the events. Tyler Reddick of 2311 Racing and Denny Hamlin of Joe Gibbs Racing sat first and second in the standings. At one point during the summer, if the regular season had ended that day, 7 Toyota drivers would have qualified for the chase. Both Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin put together streaks of 3 consecutive points race victories during the year. So every crew chief, every engineer, and every driver in that garage has spent this season asking the same question over and over again. What is Toyota doing that we are not doing? That question is exactly where this story begins. On the July 28 episode of Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour podcast, co-host Mamba Smith brought up something that most fans had never even heard about. He was talking about Team Penske and specifically about Joey Logano when he said it. I know there was a kind of a little adjustment with the nose of the car with the splitter that they feel like might help their program out a little bit when it comes to downforce, Smith said. He then added a warning about letting Joey Logano stay in contention. You let people hang around that you're supposed to beat, and then they end up coming back and smacking you in the face. And then it's too late. That phrase about a little adjustment with the nose of the car caught the attention of fans immediately. Questions started spreading online, and one of them landed with Bob Pockrass, one of the most respected reporters covering NASCAR. A fan account asked him directly what Mamba Smith had been talking about, and Pockrass answered on the social media platform X. Starting with North Wilkesboro, the teams had to add some struts to the front of the splitter that should keep it from moving/deforming while at speed. Whether that was a significant advantage Toyota found is debatable in the garage. They still were strong at Indy, he wrote. Now, if you are newer to racing, let us slow down and explain what a splitter actually is, because this part of the car is the center of the entire story. The splitter is that flat panel at the very bottom of the front of the car. It sits low, it sits close to the track surface. Its job is to work with the air rushing over and under the car and push the nose of the car down toward the ground. More downforce on the nose means more grip in the corners. More grip means the driver can carry more speed. More speed means better lap times. It is a small part. It does very big work. So what exactly did NASCAR change? Struts are simple. They are small support pieces. They brace something and hold it steady so it cannot move around. And the reason NASCAR wanted them on the front of the splitter was very specific. The struts were meant to keep the splitter from moving or deforming while at speed. Let us put that into plain words. When a race car is running fast, air slams into the front of it with real force. That force can make the splitter flex. It can bend a little, it can shift a little. You would never see it from the grandstands. It might be a tiny amount, but in this sport, tiny is everything. A small bend can change how air goes under the car. That changes grip. That changes how the car turns into the corner. That changes how the car behaves when a driver is chasing the competitor in front of him. And a small bend repeated lap after lap can be worth real speed. So if one manufacturer figured out how to work that movement better than everyone else, that would be an advantage. A quiet one. A hidden one. And according to the reporting around this change, it was Toyota that discovered the flex in the first place, which is why every team in the garage was then required to lock the part down. Bob Pockrass was fair about the whole situation, though. He made clear that whether this was truly a significant Toyota advantage is something people inside the garage still argue over. It is not settled. But it is being talked about, and that brings us back to the man at the center of this story. When Pockrass posted his explanation, Brad Keselowski replied to it with that single sentence about the change getting no media play but being a big deal in his opinion. Think carefully about who just said that. Keselowski is not a fan on the internet guessing about aerodynamics. He is not a reporter working off rumors. He drives a Ford at the Cup Series level, and he co-owns RFK Racing. He sees the engineering data. He sits in the competition meetings. When a man in that position says something was a big deal, it carries a different kind of weight. And Keselowski has been building a larger argument all season about why Toyota is winning. Speaking on the post-race coverage at Pocono earlier in the year, he explained it in detail. Toyota is one of the fastest, if not the best car in NASCAR. They got a lot of power, great aerodynamics, and the collaboration that they have amongst Joe Gibbs Racing, 2311, and even now we're starting to see that with Legacy. Their collaboration is very powerful, he said. In his view, the modern version of this sport is decided long before the green flag drops. He has said there is a great argument to be made that Toyota is winning races in the boardroom with really great decision-making. He believes Joe Gibbs Racing, 2311 Racing, and Legacy Motor Club share their best thoughts and best practices at a level that no other manufacturer currently matches. And he has stated plainly that if you are going to beat Toyota, you need at least two elite organizations collaborating at very high levels. In his assessment, only Toyota is doing that right now. Here is the part that hurts if you are a Ford fan. The struts came in at North Wilkesboro so we can look at exactly what happened right after the rule took effect. At North Wilkesboro, Toyota cars took 4 of the top 6 finishing positions. Then the series went to Indianapolis. Toyota finished 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th. So the rule changed, the support pieces went onto the cars, and Toyota just kept doing exactly what it had been doing all year long. That leaves 2 possible answers, and honestly, both of them are bad news for everyone chasing. Answer 1. The splitter was never really the secret, which means Toyota's speed is coming from somewhere else, and nobody has found it yet. Answer 2. The splitter was part of it, and Toyota is still this fast even after losing it. Pick whichever one you want. Neither one helps Ford sleep at night. To be fair to the full picture, Ford did show signs of life in those same 2 races. Joey Logano was dominant at North Wilkesboro just as he had been the year before, and Ford placed 5 cars among the top 11 finishers there. At Indianapolis, Joey Logano finished 3rd, and Ford put 4 cars in the top 8 and 7 cars in the top 15. Brad Keselowski himself finished inside the top 10 in both races after the change. But there is an important caveat that analysts have pointed out. Both North Wilkesboro and Indianapolis are historically strong Ford tracks, so it is difficult to separate the effect of the rule change from the effect of the venues themselves. The real test will come on the mile-and-a-half tracks where Toyota has been untouchable. The schedule after the off week runs through Iowa, Richmond, Loudon, and Daytona, and none of those tracks will tell us much about whether the gap has truly closed. The honest verdict will not arrive until the chase begins. 3 wins in 22 races, that is where Ford sits right now. RFK Racing is one of the leading Ford teams in the garage today, right alongside Team Penske. And Brad Keselowski has not had the kind of season he wanted. But watch how he handles it. He is not pointing fingers at Ford. He is not hinting that he wants out. Back in July, he was asked about the situation directly, and he did not dodge it. We're committed to that. We want to be successful with them. We're hopeful that we can continue to innovate with them to this next level. We're in a lull right now that we don't want to be in. Ford doesn't want to be in the same lull. I feel pretty safe in saying that. The onus is on us to step it up and figure it out, he said. In simple words, that final line means this is our problem to solve, not somebody else's. That is a rare thing to hear in a bad season. Earlier this year, talk started going around that RFK Racing might walk away from Ford entirely. The rumors linked the team to Dodge, the manufacturer rumored to join the sport as a 4th competitor in 2028. Keselowski shut that talk down himself in a post on the social media platform X. He pointed out that RFK Racing has a multi-year agreement with Ford, and he made the goal plain. He wants to help make Ford championship winners. That is a big thing to say in a year like this one. Loyalty is easy when you are winning. Loyalty is much harder when you have 3 wins and the manufacturer across the garage has 13. There is also a reason for hope on the horizon. Ford is bringing a new body for the 2027 season, and Keselowski believes that new cars should cut into the gap created when both Chevrolet and Toyota leapfrogged the original 2022 design of the next generation car. The playoffs are only 4 races away. That is the entire window. 4 races for Ford and Chevrolet to find something real. 4 races to close a gap that has done nothing but grow since February. NASCAR already made its move with the splitter, the struts are bolted on, the change is done, and there is no undoing it. And so far, Toyota has not blinked once. Brad Keselowski saw the change coming, understood what it meant, and said it out loud when nobody else in the sport bothered to. Now the rest of the garage has 4 races to prove he was right about it. So here is the question for you. Do you believe the splitter was part of Toyota's secret all along, or is the real advantage still hiding somewhere nobody has looked? Drop your answer in the comments, because after the 1.5 mile tracks in the chase, we are going to find out who was right.